The Betterment Junkies.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I am Mr. White.
And I'm Mr. Black.
And we are the Betterment Junkies.
Alright guys, so today what we're here to talk about is PlayStation 4. And we recently...
You gotta say it so, like, nerdy.
PS4, whatever, dude. Just in case people haven't played it. But I'm sure, even if you don't play PS4, you've heard of some of the new games that have come out. Especially being God of War and Spider-Man 4.
Yeah, and we're not excluding Xbox One. We both obviously are fans of PS4. We both have a PS4. Xbox One is doing its thing, but PS4 is doing its thing a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
And it's killing it right now.
And, I mean, even if you don't play video games, I'm sure you've seen commercials of Spider-Man everywhere. Spider-Man's just everywhere.
Or just PS4 commercials.
Yeah,
they have,
they're
the
always
Greatness Awaits commercials, things like that.
Yeah.
Man, Sony can't get its movies right, but it's games. It's games.
Dude, okay, so both these games, I felt like literally changed my expectations for video games in the future.
Yeah.
In ways that are not purely technical. Like, not just graphics, like, which most people go to, but, like, storytelling.
Yeah, emotional level.
Yeah.
On a video game. Like, I cried in a fucking video game.
God of War, like...
I'll even backtrack to The Last of Us, like, the remastered one. Like, that still got me, too, when I played that again. It's just their ability to how they have real actors do it in the video game. Their facial expressions, the way they come off. I mean, we'll get into all this, but I think the main two games, because we just recently played it, we're going to talk about is God of War and Spider-Man.
Yeah, and just in case you haven't played them, I don't think we're going to have any spoilers, but I'm still going to put a spoiler warning out there.
They're good games to finish, and the story is good enough for you to, like, enjoy it. It's almost like a movie, so we don't want to spoil it for you. So go play it and then come listen to this.
Yeah, I've never played a video game, I would suggest playing God of War just for the story, and I would suggest you playing Spider-Man just to swing around New York.
Yeah.
Even the story for Spider-Man.
I would tell you, I am not a fan of New York. I hate New York on all levels, but after playing that game, I have some newfound respect of just New York and Manhattan, the island of Manhattan.
Like, how much shit is in New York
Just
City?
so much. Like, how do you fit all that there? Like,
exactly, yeah.
And to be, like, if you were actually Spider-Man and that's your playground, like, that's a nice big playground with the power set.
It just, it reminded me of the Batman trilogy, right?
Yes, the Arkham Knight ones.
Arkham Knight.
No, they were good games. But so when I played the Batman games first, I'm like, and you know how he grapples to move to, like, so I always imagine, like, he's moving like Spider-Man. He has, like, the flashes on his head, like he has Spidey sense. So a lot of people say Spider-Man stole from Arkham Knight. I'm in the belief that Arkham Knight stole a little bit from Spider-Man, and Spider-Man just kind of took it back.
I see what you mean, but as far as game dynamics, Batman was one of the first one in regards to the combat system.
Oh, absolutely.
So many games copied from Batman, the reversal,
counter system,
and everything like that. They set the stage for that, and they made you feel like Batman. So a lot of things were similar.
That was the most important thing.
Yeah, but the thing about Spider-Man, and it's
especially in Arkham Knight, woo!
Yeah. Spider-Man just makes you feel like Spider-Man, and in the game, right off the bat, they tell you you're a veteran Spider-Man. You're 8 years into the game.
Yeah, so I just want to, like, I think I'm putting Tom Holland maybe close second, but I think this is the best Spider-Man in any entertainment source that we've gotten.
I would agree.
I strongly believe that. Just because they don't pander you. They don't think you're ignorant. They just think you should know Spider-Man. You should know his story. You should know Uncle Ben. With great power comes great responsibility. And they kick you off to, I think it was more relevant to us because he's almost our age. You know, he's in his 20s, trying to figure out his life, trying to figure out his relationship. And that's what makes Spider-Man great is he's like one of the most relatable superheroes out there.
And speaking of relatable, within the game, there are some key moments that really make you relate with him as a person.
Oh, God.
There are two things I'm thinking of. The one is where he gets evicted and gets all his shit out, and he's just chasing on a garbage truck. I don't know if you remember that.
I do.
It made me feel like I was an actual superhero but melded with my own situation.
Yeah, like, I'm poor as shit too, dude.
And then the other one was where he was texting Mary Jane, and it was weird because he was texting Mary Jane and like doing amazing stuff, twirling around.
Yes.
But it was like the same like.
And I will say for a video game, his relationship with Mary Jane, like it was the perfect rom-com type of movie in a video game.
Yeah.
But without comedy and more depth to it. It worked. And I like the fact that Mary Jane was kind of a capable person. You got to play with her a couple times.
Yeah.
She wasn't just like a damsel in distress. So I like that part of it too. Those two factors that you brought, him texting and him looking for his shit in the garbage that humanize him. I will say one more thing, and this goes to spoiler. At the very end, I don't know. Do you want to get to the end right now? Because
might as well. And guys, sorry, that's my dog.
Yeah,
he's probably seeing some people outside, but
yeah, he's loving it. So the very end. Spoiler warning again. There's a serum, and Aunt May gets infected by a disease and he has to go find a serum for her, and he only has enough to either save her or to save the entire city. And it is the most heart-wrenching scene. Like, I was tearing up.
And there's no out.
There's no nothing.
Yeah, there's no out.
There's no way. It's either save your aunt, so that's the only family he has left, or save the entire fucking city. That's as you should. And man, I really thought he was going to put it in. I thought he was going to put it in Save Aunt May.
I saw, like, you could, that's just the crazy part. It's all graphics. I mean, facial recognition, not facial recognition, but I don't know what that technology is called. But
oh God, we'll look it up.
Where you put the dots on
Andy
your face.
Serkis does it all the time.
Yeah.
What is it called? Motion capture.
Motion capture,
yeah.
Even through motion capture, you could just tell the emotion behind it. And I was half expecting them to do the normal thing where it's like he finds a miracle solution to solve
to
both
save
things.
her and the city.
Exactly. And then they laid down what the issue was, what was at stake, what you had to give up in each situation, and the character actually had to make a decision.
And this was after like fighting your mentor. Like you just found out your mentor is the one behind all your shit, and then you have to either pick your aunt or save the city because that's what your mentor put on you. Man,
dude.
Oh man, brutal. After that credits went up, man, I had to go get a tissue. I was like, I'm sorry, Peter Parker. Oh man, a great game. Just for the story alone, you should absolutely.
And that's what makes this different. You are literally in a new form of storytelling.
Yeah.
Because a movie, you've only associated those type of things before with, I guess, movies and TV shows. And I know some people are going to say, like, I played this game and that made me feel like that was super emotional too. There have been emotional games.
For sure.
But the idea of having, like, facial features.
Yeah, like if you look back at it, like Spider-Man 2 was like the pinnacle of Spider-Man games when it came out on PS2. But I tried to play it again and it's just so blocky. Yeah. I mean, the dialogue's there, but like what emotion are you getting out of it except
the voice actors would carry all the emotion.
Absolutely, and they did a fantastic job. No discredit to them, but the added addition of seeing him frown or like the facial expressions that you would do on a normal person, like when you look flabbergasted or when you look scared, when you were about to cry. Oh man, the way the technology is moving for video games, it's gonna honestly be like turn into movies, interactive movies.
That's what it essentially was. I mean, it's a better format of telling a story because you are literally, you feel the adrenaline while you're trying to beat a level, and then you get the next part of the story. Like,
I feel like Spider-Man.
Exactly.
Even swinging through like New York City, they did such a good mechanic. They even take physics into account, and the way you swing as a pendulum and that momentum that pushes you. You feel like Spider-Man. It's just crazy and mind-blowing.
And for people who don't really play video games, it does have an easy mode, and I did try that, and it's literally super easy. You can just swing around. They wanted you to feel. I watched some interview. They wanted you to feel like you were a veteran Spider-Man. They didn't want you to crashing into things right off the beginning.
Yeah, and
so
it
you
moves
go into
smoothly.
it.
Even if you're swinging and you run up with a wall, your building is coming right in front of you. Spider-Man will just transition as he normally should and would into a spider and just start running up the wall just gracefully. Like there's so many mechanics put into it that just make you feel effortless of being Spider-Man.
Yeah. And the villain, which I think always is a good way to define a good story. The villain, we already said spoiler alert, right?
Yeah.
Doc Ock.
Doc Ock, yeah.
So he was, I mean, at the end when Peter was walking away from him, that was an emotional scene too.
Absolutely.
That was pretty crazy too. I mean, and that's what the essence of this whole thing is.
And the
bring
crazy
story to it.
and it wasn't like a twist. He starts off with Doc Ock being like his kind of teammate,
and you know what's happening,
and you know who Doc Octavius is. You know he's gonna become Dr. Octopus at some point. And throughout the entire story, whoever does the voice acting, and we should give him recognition for all the ones that they do, but whoever does it, they just sell like his slow decay into madness, like from scene to scene, like his failure to failure, and Peter just finding all that out at once. Man, they did amazing.
Yeah. And then switching gears a little bit, I mean, in regards to the story, I love Spider-Man, and going into it, I loved Spider-Man before. God of War, on the other hand, was a little different because I played I don't know about you, but I played God of War at my friend's house. I never really played
I never owned it. Yeah, same.
I never owned previous God of Wars, and I
think my first feel into it was God of War 3 on like PS3.
Yeah, but even then, it was just the combat system I enjoyed. I never really got into the story, really.
I like the idea.
Yeah, it was interesting. Yeah, it was interesting.
Especially Greek mythology.
I remember definitely reading about the story and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But you could go into God of War just having a basic idea of the previous games.
Yes, this new game for PS4.
Yeah, that God of War, holy shit. That was, I would say, story-wise, was more compelling than Spider-Man.
I would say it was more compelling than Spider-Man. And spoiler warning again for this game, just a technical achievement for a video game.
All in one shot.
One shot. Cut. One fucking shot. No matter what you do, that camera is following you and following you beautifully. Like, it's so gracefully done. It is crazy. It is the most beautiful game I've ever played. Like, the most compelling game I've ever played.
Mm-hmm.
I thought after playing that game that I could no longer play any other video game possible. Not possible.
I tried to replay God of War, and I just couldn't because it was diminished returns. I couldn't get the first experience.
First time feeling. Like, if you guys haven't played, I'm jealous of you guys, because if you go and get this game, if there's any one game you should play in the year of 2018, it should be God of War.
Mm-hmm.
Then Spider-Man, but God of War first.
Yeah. And actually, there's one criticism, because we talk about Spider-Man and God of War, just as a side note, one criticism both games had was that the bosses were really redundant.
Yeah.
But what I think that is there's a lot of recycled code that goes into these games. Like Batman, for example, the first one.
Mm-hmm.
The second one was built on top of that. I'm sure they recycled code. So I feel like the second version of these games will have more dynamic combat with bigger villains, because they'll have...
You can't get everything right every single time. But what they got right, man.
My favorite part of God of War was the relationship that slowly transgressed to the end of the game was between father and son.
Father and son, yeah.
It was done slowly, subtly, changed at pivotal endpoints, story arcs throughout the game.
And this game had a big twist. Like, this game had a big twist, and it just sold it even further. Yeah. Whereas Spider-Man, you kind of knew even the twist was coming, but it still was like a joyful ride.
Yeah, yeah.
And God of War, it's almost like, if you guys are fans of God of War, it still might be a new feeling, because he's getting away from Greek mythology and now in Norse mythology.
Both are badass really.
Absolutely.
So I didn't really have
a
problem.
I love that they took it to Norse mythology. I don't know why. I just love that they took it in a different direction. And the twist at the end, spoiler warning, to make his son Loki.
Yeah.
And they do their research. Like, they absolutely do their research on this mythology. And they literally take the entire mythology and they just put Kratos in it as a pivotal character. And it's flawless. It's just flawless. Yeah,
they did it amazing. And I found myself even reading, like in most video games, they have like, you meet a new character and there's like a paragraph about them in the menu. I was reading every single fucking paragraph. Yeah. Like, I was reading about everything.
Every little thing, every little detail that I could find. This was the one game where I want to know more. Yeah. Even in like the scenes where you're traveling and the head is talking to the son, I've turned the volume up. I'm like, I want to know the story too, bitch. Keep talking.
So I think we established that we both loved Spider-Man and God of War. And one thing I do also want, I told you I was going to talk about this. I want to talk about how Assassin's Creed has hurt me. I have been hurt. I was a diehard Assassin's Creed fan.
Me too.
From game one.
Ezio. Yeah. Ezio was the best.
Altair. Oh my god, dude. Those games I loved those games. And I was a diehard fan, and then it got to...
Like diehard, meaning like every year it came out,
I bought it.
Bought
it. It was just there. I trusted it as it was going down. But the point where I was the most hurt was the one in London.
Syndicate.
Fuck Syndicate.
Yeah.
That was such bullshit. I was so mad at
it
that.
had potential. It had potential.
Yeah, you had London, but like you were getting away from what
Assassin's
Creed was,
yeah.
and I don't know. They're trying to be an RPG game. It's not an RPG
Everyone's saying
game.
this new Odyssey one is actually not that bad.
I see. This is the first time I have not bought an Assassin's Creed game.
You know what I think it is? I think the Greek if it wasn't in Greek mythology, I don't think it would be that good. I think the fact that you get to be like, oh, I'm a Spartan or I'm a Greek warrior, I think it sells it more as to why the RPG is more fun. But I still don't think that's what Assassin's Creed is. Now they just created a new type of game and they're just putting Assassin's Creed on it.
Exactly. Like
Assassin's Creed is the old white hood, like the knives in the wrist and like silent kills, follow meetings. That's Assassin's Creed.
And they could have gone in that direction. They could have made it like, you know how Batman, the first one, Arkham Asylum, was encapsulated in the asylum, but it was still an amazing game. You don't need to have this entire world for a good ass game
and a story, a good story.
Yeah. So I mean, the one before that, Origins, I loved Egypt. Just I don't know, you didn't finish it, right?
I didn't finish it. It was fun exploring and seeing Egypt, but see, I as a video gamer, I have an issue.
So I'm gonna explain your issue.
Yeah,
we play games dynamically differently.
Very differently.
I find a game, like a game, and I will just destroy that game within a week.
Yeah, he just won't stop.
And I just keep doing it. And how I do that is I don't. Every single side quest, I don't really do.
He doesn't get distracted. He knows what he wants.
But Mr. White here will like.
I have to stop.
He has to do every single fucking thing, which is a pain in my ass.
I feel like I'm that person. I feel like I have to do service to these other computerized people. What is your issue? Tell me. I am your Jesus. Come on, like
there. I mean, in Origins, they had some stupid ass missions. I can't even think of a specific example, but some of them would be like the typical. I lost my son. Can you go find him? There are 5 NPCs.
Okay, so I will tell you, I did get better to ignore those type of missions, but I also have an issue of like I need to power up my dude so I can have a better storytelling. So I would just do all this side stuff and get distracted in this gameplay, which is fun gameplay. But for someone like me who it should be focused more on the story because that's where I get my kick out of, I'm wasting my time doing other things and getting a headache out of.
Yeah, and I was saying I kind of came to your level when it came to Origins because they have a system where if you don't do any side missions by like a quarter into the game, you cannot beat the main mission because you haven't leveled up yet. Yeah, it's incorporated. You have to do some, which is kind of cool. But I just think it's funny because then I beat the game in a week and then I have to wait for his ass for like 4 weeks to finally finish the game before I can say anything.
I didn't even want to finish Spider-Man. He was like, dude, finish the fucking game.
And I'm going to put this up to anyone who might be listening, but if something's in a trailer and you talk about the trailer,
all right, not everyone watches trailers.
It is not anything.
You have to be careful what you say because not everyone watches trailers.
No.
People nowadays choose to ignore so they can just have a full submersive experience. You ruined that experience for me.
I mentioned something to you that was in a fucking trailer. Like,
did I tell you I watched that trailer? Did I say I've seen all the Spider-Man trailers?
Oh my god, that's fucking ridiculous.
He just ruined the villain for me. He ruined all the villains for me. He ruined like the Sinister Six. And I'm like, what? Sinister Six? What?
What? Spider-Man.
Man.
I think, we'll agree to disagree.
It wasn't a big deal. But I do agree that nowadays you have to be careful of what's spoiler and what's not spoiler.
Yeah.
That was a main discussion.
People get offended to their core if you like fuck something up for them.
Yeah. That's why I keep saying spoiler warning, spoiler warning.
Yeah.
So I think we can agree, like, there's such a different change in video games now, and I think it's becoming a new norm where anything less is just not good.
Yeah, but also, like, we talked about 2 great games and one franchise that was going badly. I think it would be good to compare why Assassin's Creed became so bad. We just said it was bad.
Well, I think because it gets away mainly from the Assassin's Creed that I fell in love with, which was, this ancient history with future. I mean, I didn't care much of the present time stuff.
Yeah, the present time stuff was...
It was whatever, but it was part of the story, which was fine. But it was more of this, like, you earn your stripes. You have to kill silently. You have to do these missions. You have to follow these people.
You can't just go in a room with 30 people and just, like, kill everyone.
Yeah, and this is... it should be said that we haven't played Odyssey yet, so we can't really compare what Odyssey is. Yeah. I know it's more of an RPG style. I know people still say it's a hell of fun. Like, it's still a good time. Ancient Greek is awesome. You get to Sparta kick a lot of people. I've heard that but it's not Assassin's Creed to me. Now it's just a Greek war RPG game.
And they're just using the franchise
name, yeah. And I mean, I think the main story of the Assassin's Creed was this whole Templar versus Assassins.
Yeah.
And I think they're just like picking ancient times now and just trying to like, this is the Templar side, by the way, and this is Assassin side. Just play. Yeah,
but I think the gold mine they had was Templar and Assassins, but the fundamental ideologies that were different. Templars were like I
almost
guess
like Democrats and Republicans.
Almost, but I would say that the Assassins were both ends were pretty extreme in their view of the world.
Yeah,
like
which is why you should be in the middle.
Yeah, but I mean, they just had so much source material that they could have gone off of.
They could have, and I think they started getting convoluted for its own good.
No, I think it became like a cash factory where they just need to put out a new game every year. Yeah. And that was the issue.
I mean, I was a big fan of Ubisoft. Like, they were pumping it out. Like, really good games. But now I'm just weary to play a game from them.
I think in order for a game to compete,
you know what also did it for Ubisoft? Like, it did Watch Dogs. That also killed me. For you, I believe that was Ubisoft.
Yeah, I don't know if that was Ubisoft.
I think it was.
Maybe, but
if you wanna,
I'll look that up. But
so because I played Watch Dogs the first one, it was an okay story but repetitive gameplay. And I played Watch Dogs 2. It just felt like a poor man's Grand Theft Auto.
But they had some cool features in it.
They did.
So I will forgive a game if
trying to be like innovative.
Yeah, so if it has innovative gameplay, I would be able to forgive some of it, and it is by Ubisoft, Watch Dogs. Yeah. So I think in order for a game to compete in today's, I guess, market, I would have to say compelling story, or a different form of gameplay that we haven't seen.
Yeah, a lot of old school type of game, like platform type of style games, are coming back in this era. A lot of like true. I would say I'm an avid gamer, but I wouldn't say I'm a true gamer. Like, I don't play a lot of every other games that's out there.
Same. I don't play like everything that comes out.
I want to. I want to expand my gameology, if I can say that. But not everything is for everyone. But a lot of different styles are being, because I've watched and what's the new game coming up next. I've seen a couple of videos, and a lot of these new games that gamers get hype about, they are like kind of reverting back to like platform style gaming or kind of rudimentary 3D type of graphics rather than like the motion capture type. But I think we've just spoiled our appetite with these two games.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to take a lot for me to be impressed. I mean, the only ones that I'm kind of... So, like, I in my mind, I have some categories. Like, Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming out.
Yes.
That, to me, is in the same category as...
Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto.
Just
Grand Theft Auto and Skyrim. These are RPG
So I've
games.
never played Skyrim.
You ever tried it?
Nah, I'm not a big fan of it.
I played it, loved it, and then realized I had a problem, and then stopped.
Like,
I realized that I could keep playing this game forever.
I'm not. It just wasn't for me.
Yeah,
there's too much land. I would just get lost.
yeah. But there are like options. I see like RPG
like
games.
I'm not to cut you off, but I tried The Witcher 3. Just too much. I couldn't like find myself to focus on the main story. It just gave me a headache.
This will be a very unpopular opinion, but I played Witcher 3 maybe 10 minutes into it, and I dropped it. I just didn't. I don't know. I know.
It didn't appeal. I know a lot of people say it's so amazing game and all this.
I need to give it another shot.
I'm not going to.
You're not going to?
I tried it twice. I saved it at one point, then I went back to it, and I was like, let me try it again. And I got further in the story. I even fought like a demon or a dragon, whatever it was. It just, it wasn't for me. I'm sorry. It just wasn't for me.
I think Witcher 3 is popular because it's a purely RPG game. And that's because there's so many options with your gear, with like...
Absolutely. And even though I'm saying like, oh, it wasn't for me, this game, I have to give it up to the attention to detail for these games. Even though maybe the graphics aren't as realistic as God of War, the attention to detail for these open world games where you even pass by like computerized people and they all have their own dialogues, or you go into a specific house and it's furnished a certain way. Just the attention to detail of these people is just mind blowing. Well,
actually, the one thing I'd like to point out is for any of these games, I don't see developers as the bad people in any of these games. even the bad ones.
Why not?
Because
why not the bad ones?
Well, the bad ones because
It's not their fault.
I don't think it would be their fault because I always picture it being like you have an executive that has a goal,
kind of like a movie studio kind of interferes in
like kind of, and I feel like developers are naturally like
you have to rush it out, kind of.
I mean I watched a video about I'll put a link to it, but it's where the Spider-Man 2 developer who made the Spider-Man 2 game, he developed, while he was developing it, like 2 levels in, he came up with a better system of web slinging. And he wasn't allowed to implement it because it made sense because they're on a schedule. So corporate was like, no, we can't change everything right now, even though you have a better web slinging system. I did not know that. Yeah, I'll send the link to the video, but like, that stuff makes sense, but I feel like that's what would kind of ruins video games sometimes. The developers, I feel like, are always interested in improving the game itself.
Yeah, like because I've seen interviews of creators of a lot about God of War and Spider-Man. So I'll just get back to that because I've seen interviews of the creators of those games, and I don't know what it is. Like, I guess these companies just got free reign to let these creative minds do their work. But when they got free reign, these creative minds created such a masterpiece. Like their attention to the detail, their focus, and their like love of the material, it just shines through the game. It just shows. Like, and to me as a gamer, to be immersed and feel like that character, and then once I turn it off, to be like, damn, those people created that. Like, for me to even praise those people in my living room, to think about those people, not just the video game, but the people behind the video game. Because I don't think, unless you're a true gamer, you don't really think about it. Yeah. But a lot of people just play something or watch something. They don't think of what the time and effort it takes to create it. Yeah. But those 2 games, like, I had to sit back and be like, yo, you guys, man, you guys, you guys. It's an amazing thing now what video games can do.
Yeah, it's a new format that's coming up, and I think that I really believe that everyone should try to enjoy some of these games. That it's not just for like gamers anymore. It's some of these games are, I feel like anyone would enjoy.
That negative stigma of like, oh, you play video games, like I don't think exist anymore. It should exist anymore. These are all different types of mediums. And honestly, I'm glad I grew up playing video games. My hand-eye coordination is a lot better for it. I'm going to tell you that right now. I have family members or other people I know that didn't grow up playing video games, and it just shows.
I still think that there's a little bit of stigma. Like, I will be playing a game for like 4 hours, and my girlfriend will come in and be like, what the fuck are you doing with your life? Get a job.
Well, 4 hours.
Dude, no. When you binge, I was still looking for a job, okay? 4 hours. You don't need to be looking for a job 8 hours a day, okay? 4 hours, you apply for jobs, and then the other 4 hours.
Yeah, how's your housewife for open?
Dude, that's been rough. I will never be satisfied with being a house person.
Yeah, we'll talk about that another time.
Yeah.
But I am jealous of your freedom to be able to play for 4 hours. I will give you that.
Even when I was when I had a job, I would still binge like 3-4 hours.
Yes, you would when you come back.
I would like like my girlfriend would be like, I'm gonna go grocery shopping. Like, okay, cool. I'll just go grab it. I run and play my video game. Like,
it's a good escape though for a lot of people who want to find some sort of escape in TV, movies, whatever isn't doing it. Pick up a video game. It interacts you. It makes your mind work and think, and you get distracted. You really do. There is something out there for you. I promise you. I'm a big sports game person myself.
Oh yeah, sports.
Yeah, I'm a big if you want to talk about a disappointing franchise, NBA 2K. Come on, guys.
So I don't really play too much. I'll humor Mr. White once in a while, and I'll play a game.
Yeah. He's just to make me smile. He'll play a game with him.
But I'm not really too much into any of the sports games.
Yeah,
FIFA. I kind of like FIFA.
FIFA was my introduction to sports game, probably FIFA and Madden. And then I started getting into basketball a lot in early high school and college. And the 2K games that used to come out, man, they used to get better and better. And something happened around 2K17 and 2K18. Now it's just a cash grab, like you say. It's just there to make money. And like, they give you all this freedom. Like in 2K18, there was this thing called the park, and basically you make your own player, and you can just roam around this online park, like in GTA, where you can roam around the same city with other online players. But in order to be even okay or decent or good, you had to either play a lot, like a lot of hours, or buy.
Yeah,
and nobody has that many hours to play. Let's be honest.
I can't believe that we haven't talked about that yet. That's another thing that's destroying the game industry is not DLCs, but these
DLCs and virtual credits and things like that.
Well, DLCs when done right can be amazing in their own right.
Yeah,
but
GTA had a lot of good DLC type of things.
There's a term for it, pay for cash or something like that.
I know what you're in.
Star Wars had a huge backlash. That's why I didn't buy it.
Man, I can't think of the word, but it's in, like, I think in 2K they call it virtual credit. It was like VC, and you had to pay for it to do it. Same thing with your backlash with Star Wars. And Star Wars was another one that looked beautiful. It looked like a Star Wars movie when you look at it cinematically.
On principle, I didn't buy it.
Yeah, same. Just because of the review and Battlefront, like the first one, it disappointed as well. And so the second one, I was like, I'll let other people try it for me, and I'm glad I did.
Battlefront 2 was that PS2 or PS3?
PS4. Oh, you're talking about the old Battlefront 2,
the classic
one. PS2 one. That was a good one.
That one was one where they just didn't really have too much of a story.
No.
That one was where game dynamics just carried that game, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was fucking amazing. That game was...
It was just like warring in Star Wars world. Like, you were part of Star Wars, and you were actually warring.
Yeah.
And you were able to be Jedis for a brief moment and get that feel of power and go battle to battle. It was fun. It was a fun game.
I think that's another thing is they've transitioned away from games where you can play 2 to 4 players in the same...
like
room.
Vicinity type, yeah,
because that was part of the fun.
That's what I love about Nintendo, like the Mario parties and the Mario Karts. You get people together and you play together.
Yeah, because I remember when we were kids, we played Halo 3 or was it Halo 2?
It was like Halo 2 on the old Xbox with the big ass controllers.
Dude, that was so
and we played
much
together.
Fun. Yeah,
and you kept screen cheating, you motherfucker.
Yeah, that's still not proven.
That's so proven. No. How do you know that a shot is coming at you if you're not screen cheating?
I played that game.
You.
I developed a sense for that type of shit. All right,
Mr. Black is a cheater. But that was fun. Like, we had to get together to play. You know. That was fun. That was the fun of it. I know when I got the Xbox 360. Modern Warfare 2, I had we had a 4 group, and we would play online, and that was still killer. Even though we were in our own place, we had to like talk to them and be a team. That was still fun, but it just wasn't the feel of having your friends around and playing a video game with them, like the old 90s style. Because I used to have Super Nintendo, then I had N64.
Yeah.
And N64 is like the cream of the crop of like playing together, you know?
Yeah.
You had 4 controllers, you get 4 people together, Mario Kart, Mario Party, any Mario. Like, that's why I still...
They become drinking games, too.
Oh, yeah. Once you get old... Once you understand alcohol, then they start becoming drinking games.
Yeah. Like, okay, so, like, the single-player games like Spider-Man and God of War are amazing narrative structures to tell a story and play a game and be fully immersive. And then the other type of game is with multiplayer. I never got into online multiplayer, but what I do miss is what you're talking about.
Together multiplayer.
Friends in a room playing a game like Halo and... on PS2, Lord of the Rings, you could be either Aragon, Gimli.
I remember that.
Game was fucking awesome.
Like those, even this might, I don't know. You remember Ultimate Alliance?
Yeah, the superhero one. Yeah,
you had to have 4 people. Even though the cinematics were good and it was a weird gameplay style, but it was still fun because you had to do it with your group. Yeah, I think I would like to try it more. But what I can't get on board with is like Call of Duty online. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Well, to me, it was really fun up until Modern Warfare 2. Cream of the crop. Modern Warfare 2. I think a lot of Call of Duty fans will agree that had the best story, just hands down. After that, it was the same thing over and over again, except, oh, this is a new gun and this is a new attachment, so you got to kill this many people to get that new attachment. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It's the same thing over and over again. I know there's new gadgets and new things to do about it, but you're either really good at it and you have fun because you're murking everyone, or you're just struggling. And it's not fun when you're struggling.
Yeah, consistently struggling.
Like I said, I'm not that true type of gamer where I can just literally log online and I got 10 kills in like 10 seconds.
Yeah, I never played online because of that.
I actually I take that back. I've had some golden moments in my Call of Duty like prime days.
Really?
Yeah. There was a Black Ops game. It was if anybody ever remembers, I think it was Black Ops 3 or something, but one of the maps was on a boat, and me and my friend, we were switching off. Like whoever died, you give up the controller, and he died after like first 2 kills, and he gave it to me. And man, that guy didn't get his controller back till the end of the game because I went like 25-0. Yeah, I got my skills. All right, I got my skills, but it's disheartening now. I don't find the fun in playing it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, do you think there are any other categories you missed? RPG, story-driven games, multiplayer. Sports games. I think will always be there because they're the type of games where you can play with people and it's people who are fans of sports.
Yeah.
You'll always want to be.
Because I used to love playing 2K online,
yeah.
And people get cocky when it comes to sports. Like people trash talk in sports, and it's always fun. Like you're down.
I never got that. We'll talk about this some other time, but I never got that with sports. I'm like, my team's better than your team, but I never contributed to my team doing good.
Yeah, like you're not a player, but like that's your team.
Yeah, like I never really got that. I appreciate it.
It's like one of those feelings you can't really like. Nationalism is a feeling like you're proud of what country you come from. Like you're proud of your sport team. It's a weird thing.
Yeah.
But I think sports games do encapsulate that feeling, and they are technical achievements. I will give them that.
Yeah, and then I've never seen a type of game that has more trash talk in it. Sports games, when I see people playing it.
Well, Call of Duty has some petty kids on there.
Yeah,
I will tell you that.
Among adults, I've never seen as much trash talk when it comes to you sitting in a room with another guy that you haven't met, and you two would just be starting trash talking.
That is true.
It brings people
I've been
together.
In a lot of rooms, especially in college, where we're like, "Yo, you got FIFA? All right, let's play." And 5 minutes in, you're like, "Fuck you, man!" It is a competitiveness, but I think it's a sports is one of those things. It's almost like a good competitiveness, unless you unless you dement it. Like those people who take it too seriously get into fights. But sports can do a lot of things, can bring a lot of people together.
Yeah.
Win or lose, it's a very fascinating thing. And a lot of miracles happen in sports that make you wonder about what's real and what's not. So sports is a great medium. And I think video games of sports, they are getting better as technical achievements go, like their facial expressions, like the motion capture, things like that. But man, stop doing cash grabs. I just want to play my sport. I just want to play my sport with my friend, and I want to kick his ass. That's all I want to do.
Would you? I have a question. Like, what was the last 2K game that you like loved?
I think it was like 2K15. I think Kevin Durant was on the thing.
So if 2K15 and then they made the next year 2K16, and all they did was change the players, would you have bought that game? That's all you were getting, the new players.
Like the new roster?
The new roster, yeah.
Sometimes a lot, like
would you spend $60?
Like, I'm a sports fan, and LeBron James went from Cleveland Cavaliers last year, and now he's on the LA Lakers, right? So if I had 2K18 and I couldn't update it to the point where I can't get LeBron on the Lakers, as a sports fan, I'm going to be inclined to buy the next year's game because I want him on the Lakers. So there is a type of sense of that makes you buy it year to year.
Yeah.
To me, I don't think that's just enough. Especially if it's 1 year, I'll still like. I had 2K15, and I was playing until 2K17. You know, I wasn't too worried about the roster. I still liked the roster, but it just had a more fun feel to it than me. There are changes that happen that are better, and there are changes that happen that are worse. So I think it's all perspective.
Yeah, I can see that.
So yeah, it's just for me. Madden, I really loved. In PS1 and
complicated as fuck. Like I know all the rules of football and I can watch it, but like playing it is different.
Playing, yeah, you actually kind of have to be in like a coach's mind. If you play it and you don't really know football, you're just thinking, okay, I press this to hike and I pass to this person. This one is going, so I pass there. And then on defense, you're just thinking, go after the quarterback. But there's a lot of planning and things. And even in 2K, even in FIFA, like these games, they're video games, but they make you think. They make you critically think. And for sports, they actually make you think like a coach.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. I actually think I got better at playing basketball from playing the basketball video games. Like I think I got better in real life. Because what I would do in the video game, or what I would see in the video game being like, okay, this man is open. I know he can shoot, so I'm going to get it to this man. So I'm going to drive this way. I know. I remember like we used to play 2-on-2s.
I was about to say that when you taught me how to pick and roll.
Exactly. It's such a simplistic thing, but and I never thought that it would be effective when we played 2-on-2.
Mm-hmm.
But man, was it effective?
Yeah, immediately we had something. I mean, they caught on, so I would assume that we'd be a lot better if we had maybe 2 or 3 options.
Yeah, and we did, and I think for me, it just expanded my mind. It made me think like, oh, he did this move in the game. So maybe I can do it in real life. If I pump fake this way, that guy jumped up in the game. So maybe he'll do it in real life if I pump fake this way. It made me think, and it made me better.
And I think that goes to the root of what video games are. It's all problem solving.
Yeah.
It's problem solving decorated with a bunch of stuff, a story and all this, but it's in so many games, it's essentially problem solving.
In the old days, that's where games were, right?
Problem solving and skill. Because some are just skill, you have to play the level over and over again. Mm-hmm. But that's what the root of the problem is.
That's still like a type of problem solving, though.
Yeah, and I think that's why it's addictive. By nature, we do like challenges.
Yeah.
And even as
per our other junkie shorts, why go to the moon? Because we have challenges that we overcome.
Oh my, can't believe you bring that shit into this right now.
But no, video games, I agree. Those challenges are fun, and people should give it a try.
Definitely.
Whatever your format is. If you like virtual reality, I tried virtual reality for the first time recently.
Oh, really?
For the very first time. It was at a Dave & Buster's, guys, and it was like a Jurassic Park World type of ride. I went with my girlfriend, and we both tried it for the first time. I was never big on virtual reality before, but actually sitting there, it was one of those things where you sit and like the whole seat moves you. So it's almost like a 4D experience. And in the entire time, like these dinosaurs are just coming at you. It was actually pretty fucking cool. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. I see the enticingness of virtual reality now.
I see that as being the
future of video games. Absolutely.
Did you watch the movie Ready Player One?
Yeah.
So I read the book, and the way they described that, I want that. I need that. Like, that's just amazing.
I mean, Spielberg did a pretty good job showing it how it would work in the movie as well. I did recently see a video where they had like someone hooked up to like a 360 treadmill in a virtual reality, and they had them running. I think that's the epitome of game, using your physical body to play the game.
Yeah.
And like in Ready Player One, as you mentioned, like they had certain type of suits where if they got hit, they would feel it.
Like imagine playing God of War and you had like a fake axe, and every time you like threw it, you had to like swing. My arms would be jacked, dude.
Right?
How many times I swung? Right? And no, it would also add another thing. I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna throw my axe at this little dude. I'll just go over and kick him. It's like my arm is just fucking killing me right now.
But imagine the equipment needed for us to play that type of reality.
I feel like, I think, like, Escape the Room?
Yeah.
So I feel like other things like that, well, you can go in and play virtual reality. By the way,
there's Escape the Room movie coming out, which is really crazy. It looks kind of scary. Check out the trailer, but go ahead.
Yeah, but just like going somewhere and then it being that whole building is for a couple of video games and they're virtual reality rooms that you can play with people.
Oh, so you actually have to go somewhere and pay to play
for virtual reality. Like that's where the first stage will be. How would you
get it into your living room though? I think that's the ideal goal, right?
I mean, that's what the first step, and then after that, technology will get better, so it can be a home.
I'm imagining like you would have to like remove a piece of your carpet, and underneath is like this built-in treadmill, and like you would have to have like this room, and it would just be so much. Like, how do you ever seen the movie Gamer? It was with like Gerard Butler.
Oh, where they have like the prisoners as a game people?
Yeah, as a game people, yeah. Oh, I didn't even realize they had the prisoners. So there was actual people dying. Yeah. So that's not a good idea.
I think that was
the concept of it. Don't actually kill people, but like find a way where we can do that type of virtual reality. The kid seemed like he was basically the character. So
yeah.
But I will tell you, the games that we talked about, God of War and Spider-Man, just playing from a controller, I still felt that way. I still felt like I was Kratos. I felt like I was Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So even without virtual reality, these games are coming to a certain point where it's like, you're giving me that feeling.
Yeah.
I am this superhero. I am this badass axe-wielding motherfucker who doesn't know how to be a father. It all is real.
I mean, for Spider-Man, one of the things that could be done is when you have a screen right in front of you, but if you had a curved screen going like 180, like going around you this way, and all it does is it just shows you more of New York as you're swinging, like that would be amazing. And just like every time you swing down, a machine puffs a little air in your face. Like that would be the rudimentary. So I would love that. I would definitely buy that.
Some sewer water will come up, right?
Yeah, maybe.
That's
how
almost
they're
like a
gonna do
4D
it.
experience.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
have 4D movies or
Mhm.
some 4D experiences out there, but nah, that would be fun.
Yeah, I think the video game industry is only booming and it's going to keep
better.
going up.
It baffles me that there's just 3 main competitions out there: Nintendo, Xbox, and Sony PlayStation.
3 major ones.
Major ones. I know there might be other ones that I'm not too familiar with because I don't know, to be honest. But those 3 are the major
Well, what
ones.
you have, how essentially it's broken down is it's into studios, and the studios make games for systems, which are PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo, and PC. PC has a bunch that I don't even know anything
I forgot about PC.
Yeah, I'd like to try that one day. Having a gaming PC. People are always saying that that's like the
it's
next
almost
level.
better, yeah.
I would like to try that one time.
I play like internet games. You guys ever play the Ninja game, the End game?
Oh yeah, that was cool.
That was a shit.
You ever play Earthworm Jones?
Yes,
Earthworm Jim.
Yeah, Earthworm Jim.
That
I used to have this N64 looking controller, and it was hooked up to this box, and the box had like 368 games, and it was like these old school type of games like Sonic, Contra, Earthworm Jim. It was so fun.
Those games.
So fun. Good times. Times. Let the 90s come back. All right, guys. I think we praise video games a lot. If you guys haven't played one, please go purchase one or try it. Try something. I'm sure you guys will like the format. It's just something that's incredible to us. That's why we felt like we needed to talk about it.
And it's for boys and girls.
Yeah, it's not just for boys.
Like my girlfriend got super into Injustice 2, which is like an arcade style. Yeah, like an arcade style type of game, and she loves it, and she beats me from time to time. So.
I will say, if you're not like adept with playing a video game on a controller, it's hard to pick up right away.
Arcade style is a good way to start.
Yeah, like kind of button mashing type of yeah, that is a good way to start. So check it out. We obviously felt the need to talk about it because of the technical achievements and just the emotional achievements and all the achievements that come together with it. We look forward to playing more and cool games. We'll definitely talk about it once more releases come out. I know Mr. Black is looking forward to Red Dead Redemption 2. I never played the first one.
Or is it 3?
No, it's 2.
Is it 2?
It's 2. It's the second one.
I played the one before. I thought there was 1, 2, and this is the third one.
No, it's the second one.
How positive?
Don't play me. It's the second one.
I'm looking up right now.
It's the second one. I'm a guarantee it's the second one.
All right.
It's the second one, right? Yeah, I see that face.
Potentially,
yeah.
Okay.
I should have bet you.
I thought it was 3. Okay.
Nah, but one I'm excited about, Kingdom Hearts 3. Don't bash on me. I'm a big Kingdom Hearts person. If you guys have never played that, try it. It's a fun game. If you love Disney, it can't get any better. All right, I digress though. Is there anything else you want to mention or shout out? Any video games?
No other. I'm sure in the future we'll talk about video games again. It'll definitely come up because we both love video games, and I feel like we've started to love them even more. But
I want to go play one right now.
I know. I kind of want to go, but
I'm gonna buy a new one.
I can't wait for Red Dead Redemption. I'm definitely buying that. But Mr. White,
that.
If we have anyone listening,
yes,
is there a way that they could kind of follow us?
Not possible.
So
you guys don't know where to find us. No, I'm kidding. You guys can find us at tvjunkies.com. We are on social media, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at tvjunkies. Like I said, all the information is at tvjunkies.com. You can find our posts, our episodes, about us, how to contact us. If you want to email us, request something, feel free to share it. Please share it around. We hope you guys are listening. We hope you guys like the subjects. Whatever you guys want to hear, we'll talk about it. Find us at tvjunkies.com, social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Thank you guys. We appreciate you listening. I'm Mr. White.
I'm Mr. Black.
Have a great day, guys.